Thanks for listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast. I am your host, Mike Luke, joined by Jason Scheer. I am back from San Diego. Hello, Jason Scheer. How are you doing today?
Splendid, Mike. I'm excited about the special election edition of the show.
Oh, yes, the special election. I will not be endorsing a candidate. And yes, I also put it out there. I hate people that vote differently than me. That is all I will say about this. I know that is controversial. I do not care. All right. Now, go ahead, Scheer.
I was going to say the only thing we can probably agree on as a country today is I'm so glad all the text messages finally stopped.
Oh, due to the mailers. Yeah, exactly. I came back from San Diego with like 8 mailers, and I was like, dude, I've already voted. Like, you just wasted your time. Yes, exactly. All right. So we got a lot to get to this show. We're going to talk a lot of Arizona basketball because we want to talk about good things. But first, we're going to talk about Arizona football and some bad things. Okay. Now, Brent Brennan, I'm going to let Brent Brennan speak for himself here on maybe some unfair challenges that he thinks or expectations that he thinks that he's dealt with and a roster. Kevin L. Thomas, if we could see the clip.
You know, I think college football is rapidly changing, right? Just the world that we're in is rapidly changing. I think we're in a great spot with our athletics director in terms of where we're going with revenue share and ways that are absolutely going to give us a chance to have the caliber of talent and the kind of football teams we want to have here. I'm excited about that. And we're building a program. And that part of it is always, it's hard when you come in with the expectation because everybody's like, the program's already built, right? But there's also pieces there from a year ago that weren't part of us this year, right? And so we're still we are still actively developing those other parts to try and get them up to the level of the Big 12 conference. And that's an ongoing thing. And some of that is the decisions that we make as coaches and the situations we put our players in. And then some of that is continuing to upgrade the talent on our football team. That's why we recruit. Like everybody in America is always in a constant race to continue to elevate the talent on their football team, because by position, the more high caliber players you have at a position, the more it increases competition on the daily level at that position. And you want all of those players to feel that pressure in the practice environment so that game days relatively easy. You want them to be on razor's edge on Monday through Thursday in the practice environment so that when they do have to line it up, they can just cut it loose, knowing that they're ultimately prepared for what's coming Saturday afternoon or Saturday night.
All right, Kilroy in the comments put it very well. He's so hard to listen to. He is. He's impossibly hard to listen to. He's saying that he had unfair expectations that were thrown upon him. His roster, well, you know what? There's a lot of players that aren't very good. Sorry, coach. You were 3-6. You just got annihilated by a team in total disarray in UCF. You lost to a team in West Virginia without half their best players. That is not an excuse. And Scheer, that was really unbecoming. I'm sorry. That I would rather just hear we got really good coaches. We're almost there. I would have rather heard that than that. That was nonsense.
Well, he's right in the sense that practice competition is great, right?
Sure.
Absolutely. The problem is you can't say this after 9 games.
Right.
You have to say it after the first game. You're like, you know what? Like, look, there's holes on this roster. We're going to do the best we can. We lost some guys from last season. You got to kind of set the expectation, because now what happens is it sounds like an excuse, like, hey, you know what? We're not good enough. And then the thing is, like, we're working to get them up to Big 12 standards. So not only are you saying that they're not good enough, you're saying you can't even compete in the Big 12. And no offense to the Big 12, but we're not talking the SEC here, right? We're not talking Ohio State every week. You better be able to compete in the Big 12. This roster, look, is it a 10-2 roster? No.
Right.
Is it a 7-5 roster? Absolutely it is. But it's not a 3-win roster.
He's making it out like this is something that Jed Fish inherited or something. And I'll even go a step further. When I put it out there, I said what the job that he's done has been, I think, as bad as humanly possible. I mean, maybe within reason. This is amazingly bad what he's done. Kevin Sumlin won 5 games in his first year with a fraction of the talent. Kevin Sumlin with a fraction of the talent that Brent Brennan has. Now Brent Brennan talks about injuries. Now Brent Brennan says, well, the roster, kind of unfair expectations. This all just screams JV. This screams amateur. This screams just across the board. And also player development. you've got guys now that have taken significant steps backwards from where they were last year. And forget Noah for a second. We can talk about Wendell Moy. That's a great example. Wendell Moy is an interior offensive lineman that is not nearly as good as he was last year. Who is that on at that point then, Coach?
Right. Like, and like Joseph said, even with overrating this team, 7-5 and 8-4 should be reasonable. You have the best wide receiver in college football. You have a first-round pick on the offensive line, a guy in Josh Baker who's solid, Wendell Moy who's solid. Your running back room, yes, it lost your Corey. It's good enough. Your tight end room should be good enough. Like, again, it feels like an excuse. And I feel like Brent Brennan is a guy who, and I don't know if I mean this as an insult, but he doesn't think very much before he speaks, right? Because, like, for instance, I keep going back to after the UCF game where he's like, we're going to deep and we're going to analyze the coaching staff and we're going to take a look at what the coaches are doing. And after that, me and you're like trying to figure out what assistant he's going to fire, right?
Right.
And then on Monday, he goes, yeah, I never gave any consideration to letting go of any assistant. Well, it's like, then what did you do? You analyzed them. Now, right or wrong, to the average fan, that tells me you analyzed it and you felt there was nothing wrong.
Now, let me ask you this, Scheer, and I'm just going to say this because, oh, by the way, I am going to say something, and I said this. I am a man. When I am right on something, I am very, very modest. This is true.
Absolutely. You never remind people about it, ever.
Never want to repeat. I let it go, and I let it die in the flickering embers. Yeah, I think that actually does work.
It wasn't bad, actually.
Yeah, that actually wasn't bad. But I was out on this guy very, very, very early, and I'm going to give you an opportunity right now. Is Brent Brennan in over his head?
Man, Mike.
Yeah.
It feels that way, right? It just does. Like, it feels that he is. I think a lot of times with Arizona, they hire people who don't like. I'm not sure how much research Brennan did into the job. Right. I think he just took it. Right. I think in a normal coaching search, usually a coach would be like, you know what, give me 24 hours. Let me see this program, all that. I think Brennan just took the job.
Yes.
I think he underestimated what this was. I think he thought he'd be able to come in, that, you know, everyone would love him, accept the situation, kind of no matter what it was. And he's misread the situation. But like Andy Bryant has a good point too, just to touch what we were saying.
He always does.
Like, this isn't 3-9 or whatever they are now. What are they now? 3-6 with like 4 close losses, right? This is 3-6, and they just lost 56-12
to a bad team.
Lose 50 to a 4th-string quarterback and another team that had injured players. Like, you don't lose 56-12 in college football. Like, you just don't.
Exactly. And again, against a 4th-string quarterback, a bad team. I thought West Virginia was rock bottom. This is even worse. This to me is worse than the 70-7 game.
Well, I know why you're saying that. I don't think anything will ever be worse than the 77 game, but you're saying that because 77 had a horrible, horrible roster. And there was light at the end of the tunnel because you knew that it was the end of something. The 56-12 doesn't guarantee it's the end of Brennan. And it's tough to deal with. It just is.
Let me ask you this. Has Brent Brennan done anything well since he's been here? You and I were talking about this on the phone, and Scheer is a little bit more diplomatic. I don't think he has. I like Dwayne.
We really thought about it, though. Like, we went like step by step. I think the only thing you could point to is that he brought guys back, but he didn't win with them. So it's kind of that day where they came in the court and everyone was pumped and screaming, and it's like Arizona football's here to stay. That was a great moment, but that wasn't a result.
That was a result. Yeah. And again, like, I've been hammering this and I'm going to continue to hammer it. I don't really care. He's done no engagement in the community. David Kelly's tweet was talk about disingenuous about, oh, you know, he traveled all these places. And then he shows a video of him from May 7th where he's shaking hands with fans. That proves the point, dude. If you're showing a video of somebody shaking hands from May 7th or wherever it was, that's not engaging the fan base.
I will say this. And it is November 5th, and that could change in a week, right? I think his recruiting class is fine. I don't think it's awful. I think that there's good players. Now, Gio Richardson is visiting Vanderbilt this weekend. Terry Shelton, you never know. Luis Tunkara is visiting Florida here soon. So it could very well blow up. But as of now, I think they have the 39th recruiting class in the country. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. And there are some people on the staff. I want to be very clear about this. There are some people on the staff that I want. Again, I like Dwayne Akina. I think he's done a good job. I hope he's here. I think Alonzo Carter has done a good job. But Bobby Wade's done a good job recruiting, I guess. I don't know that there's you can look at it on,
on the field, no, but recruiting, I mean, it's hard to, that's a great wide receiver class they have.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll give them that. But the product on the field and then off the field has been abysmal. And I'm going to keep going back to this. And I don't care if somebody says, oh, Mike, I don't care. Well, I do care. The lack of engagement is just something that to me is just maddening. And again, he told Lev that, that's not part of my job. I let other people do that, this and that. Can you imagine somebody saying that's their dream job? Can you imagine Dilly saying that's not my job?
Here's the issue with it. Tucson is unique. If you're at Alabama, you don't need to engage. You just need to win, right? Now, Tucson, history has shown that they have to like their head coach.
Right.
This town has to like their head coach as a person.
Right.
If that doesn't happen, you've got no chance here. You just don't.
And he gave himself absolutely no chance.
He's not a bad dude. I don't want to conflate that with him being bad. He just didn't work hard enough or didn't get the right advice to get out there and made sure, like right now, when Jed Fish was hired, he said, guys, we're going to suck. Like that's what he said. He's like, we're going to be bad, but I promise you, I have a plan to this. Brent Brennan should have said, look, we might have some struggles. I have a plan. Here is my plan. And I'm going to go out in the community and make sure you like me. So when it takes time to execute my plan, at least you can go back and say, yeah, but that guy's pretty cool.
Do you think that he just basically thought, well, you know what, I can just, here's what I think happened. And here's why, to me, it's kind of it's fascinating to me. I think he thought, well, you know what, I'm just going to win games. I don't need to do anything off the field or whatever. And now that he's not winning games, he's saying, well, the roster isn't that good. The expectations were a little bit too high. I think he banked that he was going to win games and people would be just fine with it.
See, I disagree. I think he was mentioning Dick Tomey 100 times a presser for a reason. Mm-hmm. And then he brings all these old players. And I think that it wasn't about winning games. It was, look how connected I am and how much I love this university. I don't have to go out and do that because you already know how much I love this school. Played here. Dick Tomey taught me everything and all that. And he just assumed that the community would eat it up. And that's just not how this town works.
But that also shows a lack of understanding too. Anybody that lived Dick Tomey, or Dick Tomey, as you would say, people make Dick Tomey out. Some of the people that didn't live it, like he was Lute Olson or something. He had 3, I think, top 25 seasons. Everything was generally boring. It was 6-6, and every 5th season, Arizona would be really good. That doesn't. So the whole thing about, Dick Tomey this, Dick Tomey that. Sure, he did a nice job here, but Dick Tomey also was not this guy where it's like, I'm hugging with Lute Olson right here. So that showed me a lack of understanding as well. But the fact, though, too, is that he said he was going to do a deep eval on the coaching staff and then decided to do nothing. I don't really know what to say.
He screwed up that quote so bad. He really did. And just from public perception, I don't even need a coach to be fired. I get it, whatever. But you can't go out and say, I'm going to evaluate and take a deep dive into the coaching staff and 48 hours later say, no, I never gave consideration of firing anyone. It's a bad look. And I don't want anyone to be fired. Like, I agree with you. I'm not rooting for an assistant to be fired, and I don't think he would really do anything at this stage. The offense is broken. It would be a pure sending a message type of deal. I don't even know who you would fire. It just, to me, it's what assistants do when they buy time, or head coaches. So, like, a part of me says, is he not firing an assistant because he knows that this thing's over in a month? And again, I don't know, but that's my first gut reaction. Is like Gus Malzahn knows, right? He knew. He said to himself, man, if I don't make a move, I'm fired. Like the heat was turned up. So on Monday, he takes the podium and he goes, yeah, we fired our defensive coordinator. I'm getting rid of offensive play calling. And then they go and they whoop the crap out of Arizona because he knew that if he didn't make a move, he's probably fired. And the question is, did DRF, because she's very active, did she go to Brent Brennan and say, I suggest you make a move? And he didn't. Like, there's stuff that is kind of missing there. But I'm really surprised. And I'm more surprised because he said it was recruiting related and such. There is an implication he's not firing anyone. Right. Like, even after the season. Like, there was a strong implication that he believes this coaching staff is the staff to move forward with.
Yeah, well, if he does that, then that also shows something. Gus Malzahn also has been around. Other thing about Brent Brennan that I think is also a little bit of very much of a, you can also kind of tell that Brent Brennan's not been around big time college football. Yeah. I think your opinion about Gus Malzahn was very, very good. Gus Malzahn has been at big time schools. Gus Malzahn has been around. He knows what the tea leaves are saying. He knows what he has to be able to do to be able to keep his job, to be able to do things. I don't think Brennan gets that. I don't think Brennan gets that at all. And I haven't seen anything to indicate that.
I'll say this. You said that Central Florida was rock bottom, and I don't disagree with you. That Houston game, man, it's like Houston's not good. They're not good. I know they've won games, but you look at their numbers, they got shut out twice on the road. And I know we'll talk about Houston next week, but they've been shut out twice on the road. They have a lot of difficulty scoring. There's going to be no one in the stands. Like if Houston comes in that Friday game and walks over Arizona, I just don't know. I don't know what Brent says, and I don't know what he does.
And you know what the other problem with that is, too? There's also something else that we were going to talk about. But first, all right, when you look at Brent Brennan, you don't see anything that sizzles. You don't see anything that sparkles. You don't see Empire Flooring. There is no chance that Brent Brennan has Empire Flooring. Would you agree with this?
I don't know. He has a pretty nice house that they just closed on.
Right. Yes. Now
April. He might have Empire Flooring. He might.
No, Mike's boy Hiki wanted Ken N. Get out of here, Beaver Nation. Nice try.
Should I tell him the Dave Hiki fact I found last night?
No. All right, let's stay on Empire Flooring. Absolutely. You keep that to yourself. Empire Flooring, though. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. Very good people, all listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use promo code PHNX. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/PHNX for details. No, and I will go rip your Empire Flooring up out of your house if you put that out there. That is not.
Come on, it's pretty funny. Let me say it.
We need to talk about it, maybe, but not now. Not now. Also, and don't hint at it on the board either. Do not do that. Also, Sanderson Ford, girth, strength.
Girth is taking over, and it's all because of Sanderson Ford.
The girth gang is a thing. So Matt Muehlbach mentions it multiple times now on air, as does, supposedly the GOAT did it, but I still got to hear it to believe it. But
in a presser mentioned girth.
We're going to mention that earlier. But again, these people are all thinking Sanderson Ford. That is the thing that they are doing. They are thinking about Sanderson Ford, and they are thinking about the strength, the girth that comes with a Sanderson Ford that they want on their team. We believe that Kevin L. Thomas probably has a Sanderson Ford, and if not, he wants one. Is this correct?
I would assume.
Okay. Now, here's the deal. Get a 2024 F-150 truck with 3.9% APR financing for 66 months, plus up to $4,000 cash back. Similar savings on over 900 new and pre-owned vehicles on the lot. So don't miss the Sanderson Ford Black Friday thank you sale. OAC from Ford credit up to $4,000 cash back required. Trade-in of 95 or newer vehicles. Offer expires November 30th. Girth, strength. Yes, Sanderson Ford.
That's good.
We could get a Girth Gang shirt going. That would be that actually would be pretty good.
I would wear that. I would wear a Girth Gang.
Girth Gang? Yes, absolutely. All right. The other thing, all right, so you got Houston coming up then, and we're going to get to some good stuff like Arizona basketball. But Houston coming in, that's also a problem for Arizona as far as attendance because the basketball team's also playing that night.
And I think high school football playoffs start that night, and it's 8:15.
Yes.
I don't want to go. Like I can only imagine paying $100 or $200 to go. That attendance will be announced at like 40. I think it's going to be like 20.
Oh, no, it's going to be great. It's going to be, I love up in the press box when it says tonight's official attendance, 49,540. And it's like,
I'll just start laughing.
Yeah. And it's like, no, there's really not. But I think there becomes a decision to make if you get rocked by Houston, because at some point, even if people are like, oh, well, he hasn't lost the team. To me, it's almost even worse. If you're losing games to awful teams and you haven't lost the team and you're losing by 40 or 50 points to terrible teams, that is I don't know what else to say.
Here's a conversation I had with a couple media members, and a couple fans. Andre Veras came up to me and had a similar.
Did you work on your handshake? Was it better?
Yeah, Andre and I are buddies.
Good.
eventually, if you're Desiree, right? Let's say they lose against Houston, which, by the way, I hate the fact that like Houston decides a job, whatever. You have to sit down if you're Desiree, make a decision. Yes, this is going to cost me $13 million. Let's just say $20 million when the whole process is said and done, right?
Mm-hmm.
How much is it if next season I'm paying a coach, Brent Brennan, $3 million, right? And it's assistants, so let's just say $5 million. And I have an average of 23,000 people in the stands. Now, all of a sudden, you're losing money. So you have to make a decision and say, look, yes, I'm losing money this way, but which way would I rather lose money and how much money am I losing? And one thing also that came up that I'm not sure, Mike, they got $5.5 million from Washington.
Mm-hmm.
They used only one of it to hire Brennan. So is the other 4.5, like, what happens with that money? Like, is that available towards a buyout? Like, how does that work? That's something else I don't know of.
I put this out on Twitter and take it for what it's worth. And this is a sheer hedge. I actually like the sheer hedge.
Yeah, you've been hedging a lot lately.
No, that was a good sheer hedge, though. Hedge Wardo, meet Ted Wardo. But the hedge, though, that I think it's more likely than not that he will not be here. We will see that. That is for you, Cosmic Contrarian. We will see exactly how this does play out. But I believe that it's something. The other thing, too, that I think is a terrible point when they're like, oh, well, like what coach would ever want to come here if they know they're going to get fired after one season? That's a totally different. This is a totally different situation. You inherited a very good team. You did not inherit a team that was expected to be dead last in the Big 12, no matter how much he tries to make it out there, Scheer.
By the way, the new coach it would be impossible to fire him after one season. If anything, Desiree's pitch would be like, look, we don't have the money to fire you anyway. I mean, she's not going to say that. You're getting 4 years here. Like the new coach, no matter who it is getting 4 years.
Yes,
and
exactly.
That's something I think fans will need to kind of come to grips with is it's probably going to be ugly at first. But the thought would be that you at least you would have a coach that could still guide you in that direction eventually. Because you either know and believe either Brent Brennan is the guy or he's not. And if you don't think he is and you're Desiree, you're delaying the inevitable and you got to find a way out.
And here's Ryan Mitchell, a man with two first names. I cannot stand people with two first names. Ryan Mitchell says, nobody's going to sit there and blame Arizona for firing this guy. Correct. But if she can get the money, there's not going to be one person outside of like maybe
it'll be like a 24-hour news cycle. I can't believe Arizona did it, and then it would just turn to who they're going to hire.
Yes, exactly. There's not going to be there will be no because again, he's given people no reason to actually support what he's done. I think the problem though too is then you also worry about it too. Oh, Mike Shanahan. Mike Shanahan.
Yeah, this is the name that a couple people
is Mike. Wait, does Kurt Signitti call the plays though?
Yeah, I don't.
Right.
People just find a name and they kind of go with it.
All right. Well, I didn't, but we're not talking.
I don't like doing the name game.
Do it.
I don't like doing hot boards, but the hire is actually really easy. You call Brendan Marion, you say, do you want the job? And if he says yes, good. And if he says no, you go to the nearest guy like him. Like you go to the hottest, youngest coordinators, and you make them all say no.
No.
Oh, no. Let me hold on. You call Rich Rodriguez.
Yes.
And then make him say no, and then go.
We need to talk about this with Rich Rod because I think most people are on board with Rich Rod. Listen, Cosmic Contrarian. If the right people want him out, I don't know why you're saying that there's
Cosmic.
No
here's the thing: you're saying next year very likely. That's $3 million. That's all that is. It's
exactly.
It's not even. It's 2.5. Like
we're talking about some people that are worth $800 million.
And it's not. It's you're still piling up money. It's just a matter of is it 2 million or 3 million? Like if you're a Desiree, you find a way to get the extra million.
All right, now let's talk.
Kotelnicki, by the way, that's my guy.
What's that?
Andy Kotelnicki. That's my. I would hire him in a heartbeat.
That's a great name. Where is he from?
That's the dude that was at Kansas, and they were awesome. Then he went to Penn State. Now Kansas sucks, and Penn State's offense is awesome. He's awesome.
All right. What do you take now? All right. Now let's talk. No, all right. No Rich Rod, no retreads. Rich Rod is different. Now let's talk about Rich Rod for a minute. Rich Rod is the epitome of a retread, but I know what Rich Rod can do. Here's what I would tell Rich Rod. It would be, yes, Joseph, Rich Rod is the only acceptable retread. Agreed. Here's the other thing. He's not going to go anywhere. He's too old. It's not like anybody. You get Rich Rod for 5 or 6 years and you tell Rich Rod this is that, listen, one thing, you have to have recruiters on your staff. You cannot have you can't have a bunch of old white guys except for Dwayne Aquina. You can't have a bunch of old white guys that don't care about recruiting. You've got to be able to recruit. The rest is yours. Oh, and nobody that's under people of girth on the D line and no 225-pound nose tackles. I think it can work. And honestly, he's good. He'd be good for 7 wins each season. Maybe every 5th year you're really good. And when you lose, it's 64-58. Yes, sign me up. Boom, let's go.
Look at you, man.
Bring him back, baby.
Fun. I like Rich. Raquel's part of the program. Rhett's part of the program now. Yeah, I like it. Right. Arizona could do worse. That's what I always go. When you give me a name, it's no or Arizona could do worse.
Right. Yes. Now, Big Red Gaming says no to Rich Rod. Recruiting was terrible. That's the other thing. But I do believe that he corrected a lot of the recruiting in the last year. It was just too late.
Recruiting has changed anyway. High school recruiting is irrelevant now. It's all about the portal, baby. And by the way, Rich Rod's best players, portal.
Exactly. Yes. Steve O Spy. The seaweed necklaces are a bad look.
Like GJ Kinney is waiting for Baylor or a job like that to open up. Rhett Lashley, it's hard to get those Texas guys here. Like it's different. We
need to hire Dilly.
Yeah.
Oh, and also the other thing too, when people are talking about Rich Rod and they're like, oh, what about the sexual assault allegations? That was all nonsense. It was all literally thrown out. It was all thrown out. He cheated on his wife. Not good, obviously, but that's between him and his wife. I am in on Rich Rod coming back. I would be totally okay with it.
It's very simple. Mike wants Rich Rod. I want Bo Pelini. Let's combine the both and just have some fun.
Yes, exactly. Now, and we tell Rich Rod that you have to recruit Texas as well. That would be in the 5 players from Texas each year. Why? Everything bigger in Texas? I wish we could get that. That's got to be out there somewhere. That video. Now let's see here. Ben One White said the same thing that Living FR36 said in our group text earlier. I would rather have a hot coordinator than Rich Rod. He did say that earlier today. So, I don't know what else to say, but yes.
That's been pushing for hot coordinators.
Yes, exactly. He said that earlier today. Okay, but let's get back to a little bit of Arizona football, and then we're going to get to Arizona basketball because there's a lot to get to. But first, Circle K.
Yes,
Circle K. Okay, I was in the Gaslight district, whatever it is in Sandy. Yeah, Gas Lamp District in San Diego. And guess what? This seaweed necklace cracks me up each time. But I saw there was a 7-Eleven there. I took a picture with my head down. I was there with my Inner Circle hat. I was backing the K to the extreme, out of state, back in the K. 6th Street. Scheer, did you go? Have you been to Circle K lately?
Yes, I got gas the other day.
All right. Yes. Very, very good. Enjoy your member, just like Scheer, exclusive beverage deal. Inner Circle members like you can get any size Polar Popper Froster for just 79 cents. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. Also, chicken and pickle. Now, you might say chicken and pickle. That place was the place where Jacob Franklin, who's going to be on the show with us tomorrow, said that he invited us to sit with, and then at the last second, he pulled the pickle out from under us. That was awful. He pulled the seat out from under us. This is true, Scheer.
Yeah, that was a heck of a sentence, but yes, that is true. Yes,
this is true, but that's because a lot of people were there. Head to chickenandpickle.com to see all the fun you can have at their Glendale location. Chicken and Pickle. Scheer, look at this, trivia night, but this is what we were invited to, and Jacob Franklin said, no. Thursday, November 7th, 6:30 to 8. Check it out. There'll be, maybe Jacob Franklin will be there, maybe he won't, but either way, don't take an invite from him. Go on your own account. Check it out. All right. Now, do you want to still talk football, or do you want to talk basketball now?
I think it's time to turn the page.
Yeah, it's time to turn the page. It's to basketball. All right. Scheer, Actually, no. I want to see show something really quick, graphic too from Mr. Kevin L. Thomas. Can we see the point differential in these games, Mr. Kevin L. Thomas? All right. By the way, I love that picture of Brent Brennan. Now, in wins plus 47 and losses minus 128. That means they're getting annihilated in their losses, like Kilroy said. That is not good. That's the bigger problem too. These games aren't even competitive.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you're not even competing. And again, like, it's not like UCF is a good team. You got to be able to at least compete and look like you belong on the field. They need to look like they belonged on the same field.
Yes, exactly. They don't. Now let's get to basketball. Scheer, this is going to be the year of the apology from Jason Scheer on many, many players. And we are going to start with Jaden Bradley. Jaden Bradley, my friend. You even posted, this was your mea culpa. You said that Jaden Bradley is good at basketball. You did not used to believe this.
I always believed he was good at basketball, but I never thought
he's better than you thought. Come on.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm not ready with, go 15, 9, and 8 like you are, but he's good. Yeah, he looked great last night. I take nothing away from Jaden Bradley, but at the same time, I don't care what anyone did last night. That was a high school.
I agree, but defensively, we know what we're watching.
Yeah, that's fine. Last night, Canisius is Point Loma would beat Canisius. Like, we're gonna know more about Arizona here next week.
But we also know about Jaden Bradley against Clemson and Dayton as well. This is true.
Yeah, I mean, Jaden Bradley's good. I'm not pretending like he's not good.
You're coming closer and closer to agreeing with the Jamal Shed comparison.
You look good last night. You look good.
He did. All right. Now, we love Joseph in the chat amongst all of our people because Joseph keeps Scheer honest. And he says Scheer was the last guy to say Bam Bam should have been benched. Scheer.
I just don't think you should punish alcoholism. That's all.
Okay, well, I don't know what to say to that.
Big up for me.
Yes. Also,
terrible last night, by the way.
So Boswell looked good. By the way, that putts from Illinois, that Greg Jones guy. He tweets at me with the Will Riley 31.
He did that to me too. I was like, I don't understand why you're doing this.
And then I quote tweeted him and I said, "Hey, how's Bam Bam doing?"
Neither of us said Will Riley sucked. I don't know what he's doing. You came at me too.
Well, and then the other one that I had a good time with him is I also told him too. I said, and I just love this because he shuts up every time I say this. I just tweeted and I say, I was assured by Greg Jones that Illinois would not only be preseason top 25, but preseason top 10. I keep looking down the charts and I don't see him anywhere. I don't get it. But I don't. Also, let's talk Caleb Love. I love what I've seen from Caleb Love so far. Caleb Love, people don't get this because I think people have this idea that he's this big ball hog and a jerk. But oh, by the way, Javier Ramos is not starting.
He played 11 minutes, shot like 1 of 4, and had 2 points. By the way, you got to be more worried about something. After one game, Conrad 5, Philly B 5.
Yeah, but Philly B did so much more. Philly B got 7 boards.
Well, who cares?
Dude, Philly B's all Philly B's everywhere.
Conrad 5, Philly B 5.
Kevin WN, Scary didn't look good. Yes, he didn't look good. Yes,
didn't look good.
Javier Ramos.
Oh, Amos sucks. I've never liked Amos.
But you did like him more initially than Trey Townsend.
I got I got That's not true. It's not true. There's a lot of people that did, but that's not true.
So if
Townsend
we go
last night too, by the way.
What's that?
Townsend was terrible last night.
If I go into our group chat and say, hey, did Scheer initially prefer Javier Ramos? And everybody says yes, what will you say to that? They're all lying?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. But Caleb Love can absolutely, it's weird to say this, but Caleb Love is actually a really good passer when he's engaged. I love that kind of secondary role from Caleb Love. I am excited to see what he can do, Scheer.
He looked great last night. And look, again, once in a while, you're going to get the old Caleb Love where he throws some stupid shot up. That's just going to happen. It's just a matter of limiting that to a couple of games versus like a bunch of game. But last night he was fantastic. And the thing that really sticks out was the 6 assists and no turnovers. I mean, look at the Bradley Love backcourt. 32 points, 14 of 25, 10 assists, no turnovers.
Yeah. I mean,
again, competition, but yeah, you take that every night.
And like I said, too, the great thing about this, too, no weenies on the team. Absolutely no weenies on the team. And the amount of girth is awesome. By the way, Adia Barnes is now talking about girth. If we could maybe get this, girth is taking off. Matt Muehlbach used it. Like I said, I don't know. I need somebody to find out if the GOAT actually put it out there. I believe he did. If somebody said, but I need to see it. But can we get a, maybe it was Rhino. I don't know. But can we get the Adia Barnes talking about girth?
I think we're pretty strong inside. Not super athletic, but more girth, and I think we'll be effective in the Big 12 like that with our personnel.
I've never heard her use the word girth before that moment, Mike.
All right, now Adia Barnes, actually, absolutely watching the PHNX Wildcats. I think that's. I mean, come on, let's be honest here at this point. Now, if I could get her to start saying things in her press conferences like Muehlbach yesterday was amazing. He got backing the A, mini Mamba, girth. I want to say there was one other one in there as well, but no, he was.
I told you, there's only you will hit peak if he could get Sanderson Ford, Shady Rays, or Circle K in there.
Oh, a Circle K, yeah, being part of the inner circle. But let's talk about the girth. This team does have girth to it, and I love Tobe Awaka. Our guy Murph the girth. Murph told both of us this dude's a stud. He's a stud, Scheer. Like I said, I don't know that I necessarily see him in the NBA, but this guy's awesome.
I'm not sure if I believe him when they say he's got an offensive game that no one's seen yet. Like maybe he's a little better.
I don't believe it either, but
he's very good defensively, and he's a monster on the glass. I mean, he's a very good rebounder. So yeah, I like him, and I think he'll fit really well in the Big 12 and that big girthy physical conference. I think he's going to fit in well.
By the way, Grant Winkler, the great Grant Winkler, GG has gone from good game to girth gang. Absolutely, that it is girth gang, baby. But Awaka is Era's. You know what it is? Awaka is a good enforcer. He's a guy that comes in, and Arizona's going to need that. Arizona has had. How do I put this?
Go ahead.
Arizona's never really had any real hasn't had some enforcers lately. Arizona needs some because I don't really know that Ballo was very big, very girthy, but he was not really an enforcer. Whereas Awaka's kind of an enforcer.
Yeah, Awaka's more like, go ahead, be my, like we saw that video where he gets pushed. I don't remember what team you're playing.
Very good.
He gets the crazy eyes, and the guy's like, "Yeah, never mind."
I didn't know you're about that.
Yeah, my bad.
Yes. Now, Henry Vasar. Henry's good. Got to give, I will say my bad, Henry Vasar. Henry's good. And no, he's not going to start over Trey, but Henry's good. There's a lot to like about him. Blocking shots, shooting threes. He's been, I don't know what else to say, man, but talk about a pleasant surprise.
I always listen to when coaches tell us about practice because I think it's valuable because, you know, in the exhibitions, if Henry plays well, but he's not practicing well, it's kind of a one-off. You're like, yeah, whatever. But the coaches have been telling us for a few weeks now that Henry has been really good at practice. Mm-hmm. And last night he was the first guy off the bench. This is not a coincidence. Like he did it. Like, I don't know how well of a season he's going to have, but you know, he did it. Like he redshirted and he looks good and he made the right decision. And now he's going to get minutes.
All right, Joseph, you're right. I apologize too early. I will not apologize, but it's trending in that direction. I never felt that the Boswell thing was trending in my direction or trending against me. With Henry, need to see more before the my bad might come on. Follow your own rules. I agree with that. I rescind the my bad, but the my bad can be brought up at another point. But dude, like I said, he's looked very, very good. Here's the thing too with Conrad Martinez. I do not believe, and our good pal John Brogan said this yesterday, and I think John Brogan was right.
You be very careful here, Mike. Be very careful here.
All right, yes. With Conrad, with smaller point guards, and again, I would love to be wrong here. Oh, Michael D. From 1290 days. It's easier for smaller point guards to look bad or to look good against bad players. I don't know. I hate saying that. When it comes to Big 12 play and Conrad really playing, when it comes to Duke and Conrad really playing, and as opposed to Caleb Love or KJ being that backup, I'll believe that one when I see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Like, I don't think he's going to play much against Wisconsin, but if he does, it's a thing, right? Like, that's what we're going to find out. Is this a thing? Like, he's going to play on Saturday against Old Dominion.
We'll know if it's a. We'll know it's a thing if it's Duke. We'll know it. We'll know it's a thing if it's Duke.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's
That Wisconsin game is going to be tougher than people think.
Because of Javier Ramos.
Well, they're going on the road. That's not an easy place to play. It's going to be a tough. I bet you Arizona's only favored by like 3 points.
Yeah, no, that is a tough place to play. But again, we're the battle of good and evil against the Big Ten, though. That is something that we, one of you turn your ringer off. That's not me. That's Scheer. Scheer,
it's
your computer. That is not on me. Oh, by the way, Lost Highway also made a great point. We've got to start looking at the teams that cheat. There's going to be a lot of cheating that's going to go on here, and we've seen it
last night with the flagrant.
We've seen it in basketball. We've seen it in football, what these guys have done. Now, listen, part of it's that Brent Brennan is not good, but we've also seen a lot of cheating, and it's been scurrilous. It's been scandalous. It's been bad. There's going to be cheating against Arizona basketball, so everybody needs to be able to keep an eye on the cheating because the cheating will absolutely rear its ugly head at some point. Let's see here. The Adventures of Fluffy. Everything is on you, Mike Luke. It's your show, sir. Yes, Duke cheats more than Wisconsin. Winslow touched it. Yes, Duke's going to cheat a lot.
Duke on the road, I can't even fathom the amount of cheating they're going to do.
Yeah, let's talk about Duke. That's going to be a very, very interesting game. You know what's weird about Arizona, though? I see you. Scheer, you don't like that matchup. I see the Scheer.
They're good. They're good. The other freshman happens to be really good.
Yes, no, he's very, very good. Yes, and again, if you believe that ASU is good, like Jacob Franklin believes, we will talk about this tomorrow with Jacob Franklin on there. But with Duke, they're good. Like I don't know what I don't know what else to say.
Arizona's going to lose, and they're out of conference, and we're all going to be okay, guys. It's going to be fine.
Yes. All right. Kate Harrop, did Iron Mike get new lighting? I did get new lighting. I didn't want new lighting, but I got new lighting here. So I don't know what else to say, but I do not like the new lighting. But Shane Diefenbach, Shane Diefenbach, that putz. He made me get new lighting. So let's see. Oh, is UCF and Johnny Dawkins the dark horse in the Big 12? UCF beat Kansas last year. There's that. I know nothing about
bad. They're not bad. I don't think Texas. We're going to probably find out Texas A&M. The rankings this early in the season are stupid.
Yes, they are. Do you think Bruce? Hey, I would love to see Bruce Pascoe's. We need to get Bruce on with us at some point here.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about? What do you think Bruce has Arizona at like 27 because he doesn't want to show any bias?
I could look that up right now.
Yes. Also with Bruce, we were at the game the other day. I want Mikey Williams, but Scheer said no, and Scheer was right. I don't know what else to say.
All right, here we go.
What do you got, Bruce Pascoe?
Bruce has Kansas number 1.
Okay.
Oh, Arizona's 12, right?
I thought Arizona was 10.
Oh no! I'm looking at the wrong one. Okay, I panic. Hold on.
Hold on. This is good. This is for Bruce. Everybody stay in and invite
Bruce has Arizona at 12.
All right. I don't hate that.
Bruce actually, so like when you look at the poll tracker, they'll tell you like if you're way off with anyone compared to the rest of America. Bruce's bottom 4 are way off. He's ranked St. John's. They're not ranked. He ranked them. He ranked
Rick Pitino, baby. I like St. John's this year. Good on Root. Yeah.
He ranked Marquette lower. You're gonna like this. So he ranked Marquette lower. Here's the next 2. They're called extreme picks, Mike. He has Oregon ranked 24th.
Hey, Oregon's look good. I watched him last night.
And he has Michigan State ranked 25th.
Interesting.
I love Bruce. Bruce is my guy, but he did not rank Kentucky.
Bruce didn't rank Kentucky?
Florida, Kentucky, and Rutgers are all top 25 teams he did not rank.
Ooh, Bruce. We're going to have to ask Bruce about this. By the way, Bear Down Cats 96, speaking for the nation. This is something. If Rich Rod comes back, my level of excitement will have no bounds. Real quickly.
Here's the thing. On a national level, how many times does that happen? It's happened before, but how many times has happened where a coach goes 2 tenures out of school?
Mac Brown at North Carolina.
Yeah, but I'm saying like there's very few.
Yeah. No, that's right. Hey, what did Jamari Phillips do, by the way?
He didn't play.
Oh, I like Jamari, so either way, hopefully. All right, let's see here. All right, now Bruce Sciano, or not Bruce Sciano, or Bruce Sciano. What's his name?
Greg Schiano.
Greg Schiano. What did I say? Bruce
He
Schiano?
wasn't fired.
Dr.
He
Blitz.
NFL.
Dr. Blitz at UMass. Yeah, no, it does happen. It did
But
happen.
he wasn't. Yeah, Mark Whipple at UMass, I think, did it. Mo, dude, we missed the obvious one, but he didn't get fired. Like Mike Riley didn't get fired. Bobby Petrino didn't get fired. Like they left for the NFL and came back.
Hey, I got one for you. If you could have if you could have Mike Riley or Brent Brennan for the next 5 years, who would you rather have?
Absolutely.
For sure. 1,000%. Yes, 1,000%. I would agree with that. All right, now Arizona Duke, though. I think Arizona. What's exciting to me about this Arizona squad, though, is I think they match up well with about everybody. Now, there's going to be certain teams like a Cooper Flag. I mean, yeah, I get it. He's the best shot blocker in the country. By the way, has a white guy ever been the best shot blocker?
I mean, wasn't Zach Edey the best shot blocker?
Yeah, that's a good point. That was like last year too.
Yeah, dude, but guys always the best shot blockers. What are you talking about?
No, like
not always, but yeah.
With Arizona though, I think they match up. If you need to go small, you can go small. If you need to go big and girthy, you can go girthy. There's a lot of different stuff that you could do. Also, the one guy that is absolutely going to force his way onto the 6th-man role. By the way, for the next show, we need you to turn that off because I get annoyed. I don't get annoyed.
I'm going to turn it off right now. It's, to be fair, Mike, it's the doctors and stuff, but I'll be right back and I'm going to turn this off.
Okay, Scheer's going to turn this off. I am going to talk to myself for a minute. Scheer sucks for doing that. All right, but with Arizona, I think wow, by the way, my hands look huge. I think Arizona matches up very well with pretty much everybody, pretty much every team out there. They can go big, they can go small. Also, I do think that you can also say that Carter Bryant at this stage, Carter Bryant is going to force his way into where he's a 6th man and he's probably playing 24 to 26 to 28 minutes a game, mainly because of how he does play. And I think that's something that you got to be able to keep an eye on because he is, I think he's going to get there. Scheer, Carter Bryant is going to be the 6th man for this team. And not only is he going to be the 6th man I think he's going to come close to playing starter minutes by the end of the season because he can go big and go small. I'm going to say 24 to 26 minutes per game from Carter.
I get why you're saying that, but there's got to be some improvement. He's got to maintain the physicality without fouling. Tommy wants him to be more physical. He was physical last night, but then he fouled too much. The effort has to kind of always be there. I think we're going to see Carter now is going to be significantly different than Carter at the end of the season in a good way. Like, I think he's going to improve tremendously. So I can see him playing 20 minutes. I think the guy whose minutes are going to suffer, and you know this because I said this last night, I'm not a big Del Orso guy right now.
You don't like Del Orso at all.
He's probably the one player out of the guys getting rotation minutes that I need to see more from.
You know what I like about him? I like guys that hunt their shots. I like real shooters. He's going to have a couple games this year, I guarantee you, where he makes 7 threes.
Yeah, but Mike, if I hunt shots and I shoot 30%, who really cares?
Right. Okay.
Like,
but
he's got shots out, like he was 1 for 9 yesterday in 18 minutes. Like, they have to go in.
Let's see here. Oh, I think it was Ryan Hansen that said it. Okay. We got somebody out there. We have got to get this. Let's see here. This is from William Murphy, the great William Murphy. Not Brian, but the co-host. And I know I should know his name, but it escapes me. But yes, and I've just got done listening to Dia talk about girth and how it's going to benefit us in the Big 12. I'm not even sure I feel comfortable saying the word anymore. Excellent, excellent. Also, but I'm also tired of, with guys like that, though, I think they serve a spot because he is going to have games where he's going to go off. And in the games when he doesn't go off, then don't get him in there. Get him out of there. That's all. It's easy.
Yeah. I just need more from him. I just like his defense is terrible. I think you'll agree with it there. He needs to do other stuff. I've never been a huge fan of guys that just come in, shoot, and do nothing else. And I think right now, again, it could be we're in game 1, right? I think Del Orso just needs to show that he can do more than come in, put up a bunch of shots, and that's it.
All right, fair enough. That's that I don't actually hate that. Even though I would like to hate that. All right. There's also something else, though, that I don't hate. Okay, that's a funny one. We'll get to that. Rugged Road. Rugged Road, another thing. Again, we are taking when you think of girth when it comes to water coolers, is there anything more girthy than Rugged Road?
I mean, look, your nickname in the streets is Girthy is Rugged Girth, like
Rugged
it's
Girth. That was my street name growing up.
yeah, Rugged Girth.
Yes, Rugged Girth, Mike Luke, man. They're like, man, Rugged Girth's coming around the corner. But Rugged Road, check it out, though. Get ready for your summer adventures with Rugged Road coolers. Head to Rugged Road Outdoors and use code PHNX for 10% off your order. Lightweight, durable, and always floating upright, strong, substantive. Perfect on land or in water. So leave that old heavy water cooler at home and go get yourself a better cooler for the season. Rugged Road, your ultimate outdoor companion. Now, NUTRL. Now, our good pal Erica L. Day.
She keeps neutral in business.
She does keep neutral in business. This is true. Erica L. Day very much likes neutral. She also likes it like Kevin L. Thomas. And so with Kevin L. Thomas, you're thinking, man, St. Louis is finest. But you also might not be thinking that neutral is first. Keep it tasty. Enjoy responsibly. 2024 Anheuser-Busch Neutral flavored vodka and carbonation. St. Louis, Missouri. Very, very good stuff. You would like it. So again, neutral, check it out. Okay. Let's get into some of these comments here about there's one person said, what did Barrett Baker have to say after the Central Florida game? Those guys have gone quiet on Twitter.
Amazing.
Yeah, I don't really.
I'm trying to be nice to people, but amazing how things.
Right. I don't really understand. Yes, exactly. It's very nice of you, Scheer. But let's see here. Tom Duddleston has also not been on Twitter lately, so that was. But trust me, I have notifications on you for
Joseph nailed it. We know what we're watching.
Right.
Like, don't tell me like I hate that. It's like, don't tell me like it, and I get the perspective, right? Like I could watch a basketball game with you, Mike, and you like one player more than I do. That's not what we're talking about here. If a team loses 56-12, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell me that one team played bad and the other team played well.
All right, now Joseph says Brian Peterson is entering the Barrett Baker, Steve Molina territory with some of his tweets. Let me ask you this: you're buddies with Peterson. I like Peterson. Does he really believe what he's saying about, or is he just trolling the fan base?
He absolutely believes you should not fire a coach after the first year, but I don't necessarily think he believes Brennan is the guy. He just doesn't think it does you any good to fire a coach after 1 year.
Do you believe then that so those tweets, because I get a lot of people asking, do you believe, so the tweets are kind of just trolling the fan base?
He enjoys taking the contrarian point of view.
All right. He's a cosmic contrarian. How about that?
Yeah.
How about that? Okay. Now, but back to, let's go back to some Arizona football because we're going to talk Arizona basketball tomorrow. I like when people say too, they're like, well, just get into the bye week or whatever. Maybe think, there's nothing this team can do. I don't really know what you can do. Also, you were getting into it with AZ Jazzman on Twitter yesterday, and it was very good. It's not 1990 anymore. It's the NIL area. If we need a new coach, we need a new coach. Talk a little bit about the relationship parts here and about how that's different. I thought that was a rare good tweet from you.
Yeah, relationships are very important. But in the NIL era, you can't keep kids hostage. Like we saw with Memphis the other day or yesterday, a kid entered the transfer portal because he didn't get NIL money 3 hours before the season opener, right? Like it just, you can't, you can't hold kids hostage. So like the idea that you're keeping a coach for recruits and then after signing day, you'll let them go, it doesn't do you any good. It just doesn't, because that kid, if they want to leave, we saw it last year with Fish. If a kid wants to leave, you have to let him go.
Right. Yeah, you have to let him go, and there's absolutely nothing that you can. There's nothing that you can do about it, really. I don't know what else to say.
I think signing day is early this year, isn't it? Like December 4th.
Yeah. So I mean, if those players want to stick around, those players are going to stick around. Now, Cosmic Contrarian says 3-9 is a real possibility at this point. Just horrific for the program. That's the thing that I just keep coming back to is if you do go 3-9, I don't think that anybody's going to care if you hire a new OC because people are going to. First of all, you're losing T-Mac. You're going to lose Big Jonah. You're going to lose a lot of it there.
The problem is, Mike, you could hire a new OC. Noah Fafita announces he returns. You got a little leeway there. Kean Burnett announces he returns. You got a little bit of leeway there. Or you bring a new OC in and all those guys are leaving, and you're starting Robert McDaniel, who I think is good, but freshman college quarterbacks tend not to do all that well, or you're bringing in a portal guy and you're installing a new offense with new play. Like it's a very difficult situation because of the portal. Like, again, like it's not just Jonah and Takario and T-Mac. It's, does Travis Dukes want to come back one more year? Does Gunnar Maldonado want to, and they love Arizona. Does Dalton Johnson want to come back one more year? You're losing guys on the D line. You know,
You got no you got no receivers next year.
Ty was very close to transferring last year. No, and we're like close. Like I pre-wrote the article. That's how close he was to transferring. He could leave. He could leave, and then you got no receivers. No, and if what happens if you lose Shelton and Tukara and Richardson? Then you really got no receivers.
Right, exactly. And if you're that boy, yes, exactly. I just don't know if you're I don't know if you're a player what you're looking at for. Now, can we blame you next year then if Arizona does not do well?
I said this before. Well, yeah, but I said this before. I think if you give Brent Brennan a second year, you have to give him a third.
Well, I totally agree with it. That's where we're at.
There's nothing he's going to do next year that would justify keeping his job.
Let's say that they're 4-8 next year. If you bring him back, you know you're going to go 4-8. So then you have to give him a second year, and a third year of Brent Brennan is. I mean,
because there's no way they're good. I would be shocked if they're good. And let's say they win 3 games, and next year they come out with 4. Is that an improvement? Technically, yes. So you got to bring him back a third year.
Well, right. You just got to keep bringing him back. I mean, again, also, would that give you enough time to put curtains up over the stadium?
The curtains thing still cracks me up.
The curtains thing is fantastic. That needs to be if they do get rid of him, that needs to be the title of your article. Curtains up.
It's gonna get it's gonna get real interesting. But then, this is why I hate this. Like, I kind of think Desiree needs to come to a decision this week. And I'm not saying fire him this week.
Great.
What I'm saying is, you need to come to a decision and say, look, is a win over Houston really going to change my mind? Is that the barometer of the program?
Right. Yes, exactly. Also, Lost Highway, the great Lost Highway says he needs his own guys, non-NFL 3 first-round picks. Agreed. Get rid of those guys. You'll be better without him.
And look, I know that he was hired late with the transfer portal. And he brought in a bunch of guys. Like Darton has done nothing this season.
Nope, nothing.
Arizona's biggest contributors, like Trey Smith, was good, but he came over from San Jose State.
The only contributors he got are San Jose State guys.
Right. Like Freeney hasn't been good. Darton hasn't been good. Chuba, he didn't bring him over. The old staff.
The offensive linemen have been terrible that he's brought in.
Newton, awful. Jonah Rodriguez, you can't even play him. Ryan Stewart hasn't been good. It's
all been awful. It's been all. That would be an interesting question to ask. Say, Coach, you're talking about lack of talent, but everybody you brought in has been terrible, or almost everybody you brought in.
MGK has been decent at times. He was awful. He had a span where he's been
He's got talent though. I'm okay with MGK. He's got some talent, but yeah, he's been okay. He's got some talent. Now, Kate Harrop says, why did they put the curtains up in the first place? What benefit does that give them? I really don't understand. Well, you can't have team scout or Brennan is very Risano is good. Risano is definitely good. Lost Highway. Good call on that. But the curtains, espionage. You've got to be able to. You can't have teams. You can't have.
I really don't know. Look, I don't want to get into the curtain crap, but they claim it was there before. It wasn't, but it's kind of whatever. It's a microcosm of
Yes. Hey, Mike Luke question. Hey, Coach, what do you?
Mike will text me these questions to ask, and I'll be like, Mike, I can't ask this question.
But they're good questions though. They're all.
I understand that, but I can't ask them.
Right.
Privately, I can, but you want me to Coach, why don't you understand what football looks like? It's I can't ask that.
Coach, tell us about the curtains. But there are people you can pull into asking those questions.
Jason Barr, I have a shot.
Now, by the way, Jason Barr, totally all those years trying to get you on the news, definitely was just trying to set you up. I helped you out on that one when he wanted to get you on the news, and I was like, no, don't do it. I don't trust that guy at all, Scheer.
The only news I've ever been on is the BYU news because they're very nice people.
Exactly. Well, yeah, Scheer was strong as LDS ties. Very good.
Mormons love your boy.
Yes, exactly. Let's see. All right. Now, on that note, though, We will be back tomorrow with Jacob Franklin, hopefully celebrating an Arizona State loss. Who knows? Who knows? But on that note, though, Scheer, where can they find you?
WildcatAuthority.com, Wildcat Scoop podcast with Shelby and your local Banner Hospital.
Yes, exactly. And if you need to get a hold of him, let me know. Everybody in there, Brad Hudson. By the way, every time I see the name Brad Hudson, I got picked on in middle school by a guy named Brad Hudson. I don't think that's him.
The same dude? Because we'll bloodbath this dude.
No. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that guy. But
act the snitch, Jacob Franklin. I like that.
Yes, the snitch. We've got to put that in there. Snitch. Oh, and hit the like button as well. I suck at that. Thank you, Andy Bryant. I don't think this is that Brad Hudson, because this Brad Hudson seems very, very nice. But I got picked on. He was an 8th grader that picked on me as a. He was my. Actually, true story. Do you know who Rex Scott is?
That sounds familiar.
He's running for like political office here.
No, I have no idea.
Okay.
Glassman running this year for something.
Right, he runs for something every.
I'm gonna look this up.
Rodney Glass.
Sidebar.
Yeah. So I'll talk. But Rex Scott, he is. You'll see like the little signs that say.
Oh man, he's running for AG.
Attorney General Rodney Glassman. Does he ever win anything?
No.
Interesting. Look up Rex Scott. You will have seen this name before. He's an elected.
I know who this is. Supervisor. Yeah, I know exactly who this is.
All right. So he was my English teacher in 6th grade at Gridley Middle School, and he was and I was getting picked on by a kid named Brad Hudson that said I shouldn't have made the basketball team. He was a jerk. And so every time I see that, Brad Hudson, I very much appreciate you not being the same Brad Hudson. Okay. On that note, though, for Mr. Jason Scheer, who won't ask the hard-hitting questions.
I just asked on Twitter a hard-hitting question.
What'd you ask?
What are Rodney Glassman's chances tonight?
That's great. I didn't even know he's right. I've always liked the people that run for office, and it's just like their professional job is.
Like he's changed parties like 9 times. Possible. It's like, dude, it's fine. Just do your day job. It's cool. Don't worry about it.
I should run. You know what I should do? I should run for political office, and I should run for a political office and give no viewpoints on anything.
By the way, did I hear correctly? You got rejected for the 4-hour Circle K job?
You did. Yep. I was basically told from the higher ups that they're not sure that that's a good look. I understand it, but I was disappointed. I'm still back in the K, but I was pretty excited because, again, I didn't ask for much. I asked for 4 hours a month to be able to give my time. I want to work for free. Can you work for free?
Look, is it a job if you're having fun?
No, it's not a job. I mean, yes. Yeah. Again, it is what it is. But either way, I love Circle K. Jason Scheer fired me as well, although I wasn't getting fired. But and I still like Jason Scheer some of the time.
Absolutely.
Yes. Circle K did not now to be very clear, Kevin WN. This is more on the PHNX. I think more of the uppers. I don't think that they were thrilled about me possibly working there because I could be a loose cannon. Which I get. I get it. I don't know that I'd want me working there either if I was somebody that I worked for. But either way, I tried. I gave it the best effort. Did what I could. All right. On that note, though, for Jason Scheer, who will be back tomorrow, Mr. Jacob Franklin coming in, and the prodigious Kevin Thomas. By the way, you see Kevin's his screen name, PROD, period, Kevin. I hope that's prodigious, not I hope that's prodigious, not producer. But on that note, for Jason Scheer, I'm merely Mike Luke. We will be back with you at 10:30 tomorrow. Mark your calendars. TTFN. Ta-ta for now. Back the Girth Gang.
We all silly like the mayor.